condemned the ultimate hobo beat 'em up, which came out 1 month after Fear. Oh my god, Monolith, you were popping off that year. Which, speaking of Fear, this game is much like it, in that it lands into that sweet, happy medium where it isn't overproduced, nor is it unpolished. And the length is just perfect enough to where it doesn't overstay its welcome, nor is it way too short. I do think the very last section of the game does fall off a cliff, but this game overall has pretty consistent quality throughout it, and it's just always entertaining. In fact, this game did things better than Fear did, such as the horror and suspense. It has a few jump scares here and there, but mainly it's all about the atmosphere and tension of the game. Yeah, there is like a really cheap jump scare at the very end, but that one gets a pass though, because I loved it. Here though, mainly the horror is all about the fucked up looking hobos hiding around corners that get ya, and a little bit of disgusting body horror sprinkled in here and there, and some good ass ambience in the game. Alright, so you're Ethan Thomas, an FBI agent, and you arrive at a crime scene. Do a little detective work and realize it's a serial killer named the Matchmaker. Suddenly, everything just turns into shit for you. You're split up from your team, and this asshole takes your gun away and kills your freaking buddies with it.
Stop!
What the hell?
Embarrassing!
Convinced that you killed him, the police are after you, and you wake up to this weird ass telling you to run and just trust him? Okay, I guess. Hopping out of your window of your apartment, you set out as your journey as a fugitive, beating up hobos that are almost like monsters with whatever you can pick up. Alright, anyways. The super unique thing about this game is it has a cool ass melee system. Pretty much most of the enemies have melee weapons, except for those stupid ass shooting guys. More on them later.
Fuck you!
But mostly, the variety of enemies function the same with the same melee weapon. But that's okay, because there's so many fucking melee weapons in this game. They just pull them off the fucking walls or off boards. And the way they interact with the environment when they do that is so awesome and so well done. Enemies will have completely different movesets based off the weapon that they are holding, such as a pipe compared to a huge axe, or like a small board, making combat always feel so different and engaging no matter what. This also goes for your end too. Also being able to grab these same melee weapons off the environment, and there's a good variety of them that do feel different on their speed and their capability of blocking and also damage, which luckily this handy UI does show you.
Cool!
On a weapon though, the attacks do change based off how you move. Left and right will give you a left and right swing, and moving backwards will do an overhead generally. Getting good at doing the overhead and then moving forward to hit enemies is so worth it, as it just absolutely caves in fucking skulls, which you do want in this game, I'm just saying. Trust me. Also, there is a simple block function in this game, which when you do successfully block an enemy, which staggers them, and you can go for a quick counter on them. When you hit an enemy, their reaction and animations are done very well, and it feels so good to hit an enemy and, you know, break all their bones and stuff, but they can use the momentum of your hit to then do a quick counterattack on you, so you gotta watch out for that. At first, it seems bullshit, and it's like, how do you even block this? But once you get down the timing of blocking them after you attack, it'll be easy peasy lemon squeezy. Also, you have a very powerful taser, which stuns an enemy temporarily, and near the middle of their animation, you can quickly nab their weapon and use it against them. This thing's range is $10 too, and it has unlimited rounds, and also it has a pretty OP upgrade too near the end of the game that you get. I think this thing does show that the game does not challenge you enough to even use this thing every fight. By the way, I am playing this game on the hardest difficulty. It can get you out of sticky situations, but generally, it is not needed. Also, as Ethan Thomas, you can kick, which if an enemy is blocking or attacking, it usually knocks them out of the animation. Once again, you don't use this too much, even less than the taser in my opinion, but it's cool nonetheless. Speaking of cool, there are some cool animations you can do whenever you execute an enemy, but I just don't really do them, I just swack them. Overall, the melee does feel really nice when it works. However, this game can feel a little bit like a Bethesda Softworks game when you are on a weird incline, or if the enemy has a farther range weapon and they just kind of hit you out of nowhere, like, and also the blocking animation being not of the timing of block, which can feel like absolute ass when you're blocking physically the animation you are blocking, but they still hit you. On the first half of the game, you're going to be absolutely infuriated by this, but at the last half or on a repeat playthrough, you're not really going to mind it as much because you know the timing. It is extremely annoying though. Speaking of fucking annoying, the guns, when the enemies hold the guns, I swear to God, this is a frame rate problem or something. But why is this guy fucking shooting a shotgun like it's a machine gun, dude? I swear to God.
What?
You can get your hands on a weapon too, but I don't really like using them considering the melee is way more fun than shooting guns. And kind of takes the fun out of some of the encounters in the game.
Waiting for you.
That was easy.
Speaking of encounters, the variety of encounters, such as how enemies look or the way they barge into the room, is so good. The highlights being the mannequin guys and the weird creeping crawly guys that are totally not from Silent Hill 2. Which, yeah, speaking of Silent Hill 2, more of like Silent Hill 3, this game feels a lot like Silent Hill 3 if it was in first person. Just think about it for a second. Crusty ass environments like the subways or abandoned stores, and a lot of clubbing some random ass motherfuckers, and sprinkle in a little bit of going insane, and yeah, it definitely feels like Silent Hill 3 in first person. That's a good thing, by the way. All right, getting back on track here, I think one thing that absolutely surprised me in this game has to be the consistency in the level design. Throughout the entire game, I really did not get bored. Even though it seems like it could get boring when your playthrough is around like 6 to 8 hours on your first one, it really did not get boring. There are constantly little things that you do, such as the investigation stuff, which is done pretty well. Pulling up your device, scanning something, taking a picture of evidence, or using a little smell device to find something. Which usually leads up to you getting on a call with your assistant, talking about the clue you just gathered, which is pretty cool the first few times. But I think there's an issue with it in that you are locked in like a little invisible jail and you cannot get out of it until the call is ended most of the time, which is kind of fucking annoying to be honest. Like I get it, you don't want to walk away from it and just an enemy attacks you where you can't do anything, but I think there could be a better way to remedy that.
Fuck you talking about? I guess so. Hurry up, you shitboats! Fuck you, piece of.
Also, another annoying little thing, this goes back to the combat. I don't know what it is with the level geometry or bumps or something like that, but you just constantly slow down on geometry and it's so annoying. I get it, it's to balance the combat so you can't just zip around, but oh my god, it is just aggravating sometimes. Alright, I'm back with the pacing though. Another thing like the forensic thing is getting weapons for certain doors, or locks, or electrical boxes, which honestly adds variety to the little item puzzles that you have to do. Instead of it just being a key or key card, it's actually a weapon that you have to carry around, which they usually get you to use a weapon in the encounter before you actually get to the door, which is pretty awesome. So you're not just using one weapon the entire time you're playing. Also, there's some cool little collectibles you can get, such as the birds and the metal pieces, which unlock some cool concept art, concept videos, and other things. And by the way, this is all in between killing fucking hobos and watching some pretty well-made cutscenes. Like, I'm gonna be honest, playing Fear and then playing this, the cutscenes in this are actually really well done. The facial animations are actually pretty decent, and the cutscenes are well shot, and the voice acting isn't half bad, with the lip sync not being atrocious. I think one thing that's completely understated is the music in this game. It is not front and center except for that fucking main theme. Why the fuck does this main theme go so fucking hard? One iffy thing about the graphics, yes, it's a 2006 game, but I think there's one huge flaw with it, is the second your flashlight is off and there's no lighting, textures just don't look good at all. But the second light is hitting those textures, bam, that bump map goodness, the normal nap goodness, whatever it is. Yeah, seriously, textures look weird. And then also, there's this weird gray hue that just doesn't look very good. But that's not to say the game doesn't look good. I know the game looks so drab and so gray and it's so dark, but honestly, I like the visuals in this game. This game is definitely made in the era where the game is really dirty and dark, but it gets just right enough of little color accents and glowing lights and stuff to where it isn't just obnoxiously dark and drab all the time. And also they use colors effectively on the enemies, uniforms, and other things too to get your attention. And yeah, when the textures do work, they actually do still look half decent, especially the character models. Wide variety of character models, and they all look pretty good, except for maybe the stupid sewer zombies. They kind of get old. Real quick, what is this death screen? What does it mean? Like, seriously. Like, I get it's the mannequin from the beginning of the game, but like, okay. Apparently this is not on the Xbox 360 version, apparently, but on the PC version it is. Okay. Okay, another thing, seriously, if you guys play this game and you're sensitive to flashing lights or whatnot, there is one part near the beginning of the game. Oh my fucking god, it literally gave me a headache. Just a huge warning to you guys. Also, kind of spoilers, not really, but the last part of the game, like I was talking about earlier, kind of going into a bit further since I'm shitting on the game now, you are literally killing the same 2 enemies in like a field for like 15 minutes. It's so boring. And the final boss is like, it's okay. Which this game really isn't designed for bosses. Yeah, there's that one fat guy boss that you fight, which is pretty cool. But like, yeah, it just doesn't really work. There's that one hallucination guy, which is just a common enemy with like 1,000,000 HP. But yeah, this game doesn't really have bosses that work. One other thing that's kind of annoying, guys. If you do decide to play this game, there is shit you gotta patch. And it's not as bad as Fear, where your game literally crashes all the time. But you do have to download the FPS patch if you do use Logitech shit, which is fucking annoying. Or else your game's gonna run like 20 FPS. And for some reason, you have to download a patch to get game sounds back in the game, and it doesn't run in 1080p. Steam, patch this, come on! This stuff, though, didn't really affect my gameplay because I did just download this stuff and do research on it beforehand. Overall, guys, if you like exploring hobo-ridden subways and buildings and smashing in their skulls with basically whatever you can get your hands on while cosplaying Harrison Ford from The Fugitive, then yeah, go download this game from Steam or something. Go!